welcome. And welcome back to Heretic Owl Tarot. If you're new, thank you. If you're a current subscriber or if you're back, also thank you. Of course, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, all of the things that help me get some traction in the algorithm, because isn't that just life, right? Algorithms. Anyway, I wanted to do this quick intro. I did not do this on the Scorpio video. That's okay. But I wanted to do this quick intro because it's 2023 and we are no longer going to assume that people know things without us actually telling people those things, right? And asking for what we want. So I do want you to subscribe to the channel. I want you to come back, press the notification thing, bell thing, so you know the videos are posted whenever they get posted. I would love that. Also, I do have an Etsy store. The link is below, because in true manifesting generator form, my soul cannot just have one thing to focus on. I have to have a bunch. So I do have that. I actually have 2 Etsy stores. One of them is on vacation for now. What else? I am working on getting personal readings back up and running since I've been back, but also just kind of trying to surrender to the flow of that. I mean, I know that'll come exactly when it's meant to. Was there anything else? On Instagram, I post daily, quickie energy reads, like, tarot updates. I was posting those on YouTube, but like on YouTube Shorts, but there's like a 60-second limit to those, and they've just been longer than that. So my Instagram is going to be linked below as well, so check that out. What else? I thought that there was more, and now I'm like drawing a blank, because that's what happens when you are a little vulnerable, I don't know. I guess I'm going to leave it there. If there is anything else, I'll mention it at the start of the video. Hello. Again. I think I said that at the beginning. So, I wrote all the zodiac signs, all of the human design profile numbers on their own pieces of paper. And this is how we're choosing who's next. There we go. Let's see. 1, 3. I think there's only maybe 2 zodiac readings left. So the rest that are in there are human design readings, or numbers, profiles. Okay, I'm gonna read a little blurb from this website, humandesignTools.com, on the investigator martyr profile. And then we'll get an oracle card, and then of course we'll get some additional guidance with the tarot. So it says, investigate your truth through your experiences. Both the 1 and the 3 lines are in the lower trigram. So there will be a strong focus on your own internal process throughout life. You are naturally very skeptical and always catch people who are trying to lie to you. You need to investigate and study, but don't be too cautious. Allow yourself to experiment. Sometimes the energy of the 1 takes control, and you are scared to experiment because you feel like you don't know enough or aren't ready. Let life be your teacher so that you can find out what truth really means for you. Does that sound like you? I'll also say, like the 1-3s that I know, and I might have already said this in like a prior 1-3 reading, you really can't tell them shit, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Because I think, really what it comes down to is you guys like to investigate the things that you're interested in, and then go experiment with that. And sometimes, you know, that martyr line, the third line with the trial and error process, it can be a little exhausting because it is experimental. There are probably a lot of things that you try out that you don't like, or that don't work out, or whatever the case may be. But the purpose of that is to help you get to a place of finding those things that do work out, or even being able to share with other people, like, hey, these are the things that I've tried. I already know that they don't really work for these reasons. So let me help you not go through that same process. So definitely, you know, like, investigate things, look into those things that you find interesting, and then go try them. And if they don't work the way that you hoped they would, then just let it go. I know it's easier said than done, but it's almost like if you know that, it might be easier to do. And then we have peace. What a beautiful card. This is the first time that this card is coming out through all of these readings. It's interesting. I mean, it's a 28, which simplifies down to a 10, which simplifies down to a 1. So there's some sort of new beginning there, not to mention the 1 element, investigator. But we, you know, they're sitting in this posture of meditation. There's a bubble around them as well. So, you know, I mean, I'm getting the Kung Fu Panda. Is it the second one or the third one? Second one, about inner peace. I love the colors on that card too. And I like how there's these branches here. It's like, you know, like if you feel like you are in the weeds, or I don't, you know, like if there's even something that feels a bit barren is the word that's coming to mind. Like maybe you are kind of in this place of missing some sort of excitement, or even trying to find some contentment in not being like totally bogged down. That's interesting. I'm not entirely sure where that's coming from. But let's get some more information with the tarot. We're looking for 6 cards. That's interesting. We have the 7 of Wands in reverse, the Knight of Wands in reverse. Like, had to make sure that the deck wasn't upside down. I don't shuffle reversals into the deck, but if they come out in the reverse, I keep them that way. That is... It's like one more card than we need, which is kind of like... That's happened a lot. Not even a lot. I mean, that's happened a few times in these readings. Interesting. Okay, I just had to like clearly move things around. Okay, let's just work through it. So we start with a 7 of Wands in the reverse. And I mean, look at the similarities between these cards. I mean, literally, you know, they're sitting cross-legged. There's a bubble around them. Both of them have their eyes closed. There's, you know, I was mentioning these branches, but down here we have all these wands coming up. So I find that to be interesting. And generally, well, traditionally, the Seven of Wands upright talks about having to stand your ground, being defensive. I see the wands as being like other people's projections or other people's fears or doubts or opinions or unsolicited advice or just, you know, kind of those things. And then this person has themselves kind of in this like protective bubble. There isn't anything, I mean, this sword, or excuse me, this wand is up higher, but it doesn't look like it's like penetrating the bubble though. And interestingly, I'm not even sure anymore if that's even a bubble. I've had these cards for years and I have seen this card so many times. And I have seen this card the same way every single time until I'm talking to you guys right now. This seems like they're in a cave. This seems like the entrance to that cave because there's this landscape out there. And like I was saying with the Peace card, it's this energy of, you know, meditation in order to find this inner peace. And now it's like these wands are trying to push this person out. That is so fascinating. And then their sacral is lit up there. So you could be a generator, a manifesting generator. You don't have to be, but I'm pointing that out since that's showing up there. There's even like little dots. I've never even, and again, how many times I've looked at this card, I can't even tell you. But it's like the first time I'm seeing this card all of a sudden. I don't know what you guys are doing to me, but there's these white dots, and even, you know, there's white dots that are going around that circle. However, it came out in the reverse. So everything that I just said, it's like the opposite of that. I don't really think that it is time for you to come out of that cave. Maybe that's something that maybe, and obviously by cave, you know, I'm talking metaphorical in a sense, unless you are literally sitting in a cave. I always think that sometimes, like if I just had a cave, but, you know, it has all the modern day luxuries like heat, because it's probably pretty cold in caves, and electricity, you know, it's a comfy cave. The only person that has their eyes open in this whole spread is the King of Wands, the King of Swords. And we'll get to it. Obviously, we'll get over here, but they're looking at this whole situation, which is so interesting to me. So again, you know, like with the Seven of Wands, it almost feels like there is this need to let your guard down, clearly, because like I said, you know, with it being in the reverse, it would be the opposite meaning of the upright. So needing to let your guard down, maybe you need to accept a little bit of advice, or even like just be open to a little bit of advice. Because like I said, the 1-3s that I know, it's hard to really kind of tell them anything, and especially if they aren't asking for that advice first. Like they have to, it's kind of like, you know, they have to, you either have to ask them if you can provide them with advice or guidance, or, you know, can I show you a different way of doing things? Or they have to like ask you, or it's almost like you have to have your own revelation around them, and they're like, oh shit, I can recognize that within myself. I'm a 5-1. So I'm just saying, you know, like I'm just pulling in on my experiences with I think there's 4 people that I know that have this profile. So, we have the Queen of Pentacles here also. And the Queen of Pentacles, Pentacles having to do with our money. How do we make it? How do we spend it? How do we save it? Our time, what are we spending our physical time doing? What kind of value do we place on our time? Or materials, resources. It can even be our physical body and our health, because Pentacles have everything to do with the physical 3D world. So anything tangible, anything that you can touch, your house, where you live, how you furnish it, all of those things. And the Queen of Pentacles has a mother hen kind of vibe to it. There's a nurturing quality that comes with the Queen of Pentacles. But also, when we talk about the Queen, when we talk about queens in general, it's when we recognize the energy of the suit within ourselves. We have to see it within ourselves before we can share it with other people. And that's when we get to the King. So there's definitely something that's either being discovered here or accepted is a word that's coming to mind too, about your worth, how, your career, what you want to do, maybe even, like I said, your health. And there's also an element of calmness, because they're not really holding this pentacle too hard. There's a light grip on it. So maybe even wanting to get to this place of stability and security without, I want to say, a lot of effort. That's what I'm talking about. I feel like this is the peace part. And then we have the Knight of Wands in the reverse. And, upright, the Knight of Wands is a bit impulsive, fun. It might be too much fun or too much play, not enough work. Or, there's an adventurous quality to it. For some reason, I'm hearing in my head Peter Pan syndrome, where, wanting to be young forever, which, again, it's not necessarily a bad thing unless it's out of balance. And we have the Four of Wands here. And the Four of Wands talks about celebration, again, stability. It's like the actions that you've taken have gotten you to a point where you are celebrated, or you're celebrating the success. But like I said, right, this came out in the reverse. So there could be, and I was mentioning something being out of balance. Is it all work and no play? Is it all play and no work? Is there an area in there where you can find a bit of balance between the two? Because, what you do should be fun too, I think that's kind of a big problem in general once we reach adulthood, is that it becomes serious. Then it becomes, how am I going to provide for my family? How am I going to provide for myself? What kind of contribution can I make? And it kind of becomes more about making a living versus finding something that you really enjoy. So with this being in the reverse, again, right, it's is there an area, or is there an opportunity for play, or at least inserting some fun into what you're doing? It could even be needing to spend a bit more time with family, and that's chosen or biological, or community, getting involved in some sort of community aspect, because the Ten of Cups is, it's a minor arcana card to the Sun card. So it's feeling fulfilled, feeling purposeful. There is a family element. We have these two people here, whether they are in relationship or If it's a platonic thing, it could be business. It just depends on your situation. There are kids here also. So there's like an accomplishment feel there. But with it paired with the Knight of Wands in the reverse, like I'm saying, there could be a need to maybe loosen up the rigidness. If there's been some rigidness, it could even be volunteering. I don't know why. That's kind of interesting. I don't know. Volunteering, somewhere within a community. That's interesting. It could even be by observing kids. It's like it helps you remember that quality, like kind of having that childlike outlook or joy about you. And then we have the Knight of Swords, and swords having to do with our mind. Like these two things here, I think this is like very indicative of like first line stuff here. I mean, this could even be like third line trial and error stuff going on this side, but this is very logical over here. And I feel like the first line is, like very logical. So the Knight of Swords, again, even like a faster moving, that they're running towards their motorcycle there, right? And you can see on the bottom of their shoe is the zeros and ones, like coding or something to do with computers. That could even be some aspect, like doing something online or even learning about the mechanics or, how online is even possible. Coding, stuff like that, or data analytics or, techie stuff. But it's almost like there's definitely something, and that's what I was saying at the beginning, right? Like there's something that has sparked an interest in you that is calling you towards it. Like you want to move towards it and either get more information on it or try it. And it's paired with the Two of Swords, which generally talks about indecision. They have a blindfold on. There's, these crows around it are kind of squawking at them. I don't know if that's a noise that a crow makes, but I just like the word squawk. And really, like this whole situation here, and I think that's probably why this card even came out, is because, okay, so we have this Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords is going to like physically, like you need to investigate something further. And it's almost like it clears out some indecision for you. Because it doesn't feel like this is new. It feels like this might be in something that you have been experiencing anyway. And it's almost like you have to investigate it in order to clear this out. And also I have this feeling of like options or choices. And I'm not sure, did we talk about that at the beginning? I literally can't remember, but it's like you could either be this or you can be this. And if you are in this, it's because you're not honoring that third line of experimentation. That's this. So this spark happens. We have the Ace of Wands here. The Ace of Wands, like I said, it's a spark. It's like that literal, like the first, you find something that interests you. And it's like, your eyes get a little bit larger. There's that sense of excitement because that's what it talks about. And creativity, passion, desire. This could be a relationship too. Like if you are in relationship, I'm just going to kind of run through that really quick. Now that we're over here, all of a sudden it like just showed itself to me. So if you are in a relationship, and that would more than likely be a romantic type of relationship, there's something that maybe is missing here, like just not really feeling either the, let me see, it feels like it's too predictable, or there are things that have happened in that relationship that you're just not sure of. Is it worth my peace, basically? And I'm saying that because the Seven of Wands is in reverse. So, and then the Knight of Wands being in the reverse with the Ten of Cups, it's like that element of fun has come out of the relationship or is missing in the relationship. And it's interesting because these two characters are looking at each other, but both of their eyes are closed. And like, look at the energy difference between them. Like, this person is a bit more serious. This person is a bit more fun. I mean, you could be either one of these people, even if they were, you know, like turned around this way. They're both Wands cards too. So it's interesting because it's like something just isn't quite, quite. This feels a bit stubborn. This feels like somebody's trying to like gloss over something, or, you know, when somebody tells you it's not that serious, or when somebody tells you like you're taking things too seriously, or, you know, like they try to like humor you out of it type of thing. I mean, even gaslighting, I don't know. I'm just telling you what is, you know, showing up for me. And then there's this thing about, what do I do? Is it time to move on? Like, what kind of, and again, like, this is going to be logical. This is mind stuff here. These could even be, you know, like, this could be you or the other person. This could be you or the other person. But like, one is like, I am ready to head out or turn like a new leaf. The other person is like, I'm just not sure what I want to do yet. So, and then we have this Ace of Wands, which again, you know, there's this, and the fire is right at the third eye. So it's almost kind of like, you know, what actions to take. It's a matter of actually doing it. And then with the King of Swords at the bottom of the deck, again, logical. There's this discipline aspect to the King of Swords. It's like again, they're gonna know what they want to do, even with all this noise around them. You know, there's a crow, there's a bat. Which, why is there a bat? It's sunny outside. I don't know. I mean, do bats come out during the day? Honestly, I don't know. There's an owl here. They're holding on to the Ace of Swords right there. And then we have the Knight of Cups. There's 3 knights out here. The only knight that we're missing is the Knight of Pentacles. This feels like somebody different. If this is about a relationship, you know, I'm just going to tell you what's out here. This feels like somebody different, because the Knight of Cups talks about like an offer coming in. It's somebody offering you their cup. It could be you offering your cup to somebody else, but there's this like knight in shining armor. I mean, just look at this guy. Anyway, I have a crush on him. But, you know, sitting here with roses, you know, it's almost like, even if it's not relationship wise, there is this other option that is available, and it's right behind this King of Swords. Like, again, really looking at things from a logical place. Right behind him is this King, or this Knight of Cups. There's an offer here, and they're just sitting there like, I've been waiting. We have the Wheel of Fortune behind that. Things change. I always see the Wheel of Fortune as being a good thing. There's a fate aspect to it, but like, things start moving forward. The Chariot, talk about things moving forward. The World card, a cycle coming to an end. The Tower, 3 of Pentacles. Like, This definitely feels like you already know. And I know you know. You know you know. I'm going to leave it there. No. I'm going to leave it there. That feels complete to me. So, thank you for the honor of reading your cards. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.